We believe in the arts of negotiation and compromise as a way of resolving differences and achieving mutual understanding. So we wish to abandon the use of violence or preemptive wars to achieve international goals. We are concerned with securing justice and fairness in society and with eliminating discrimination and intolerance. So we're committed to equality, equality of women, equality of gay people, transgendered, lesbians, equality of every person. We are committed then to supporting the disadvantaged and the handicapped so they will be able to help themselves. We focus on this world here and now. That's why we say we're humanists, committed to the ideals of the Renaissance. That's why we say we're secular. It's the secular world, not salvation and the so-called afterlife, which we reject. We respect, crucially, the right of privacy. Mature adults should be allowed to fulfill their aspirations, to express their sexual preferences, to exercise reproductive freedom, to have access to comprehensive and informed health care, and to die with dignity. And so we believe in abortion and contraception, euthanasia and assisted society, same-sex marriage. And this humanist revolution is sweeping everywhere, from the United States to England, from Spain to Germany. On every part of the globe is this notion of human freedom and the right of individuals to make their own choices. And my colleague Norm Allen, who is the director of our efforts in Africa, where we have 60 humanist groups and 6 centers, and he'll have something to say about that possibly. And he's talking about the liberation of sexual freedom. We believe in the arts no less than the sciences. So we are committed to the use of scientific method to improve the human conditions. We are citizens of the universe and excited by the prospects of discoveries still to be made. We are skeptical, so we're skeptics about untested claims to knowledge, and we're open to novel ideas and seek new departures in thought. Now, I said there are really, I should point out, 2 parts of the numerality of humanism in the 21st century. First, we're interested in enlightened self-interest of the individual. So we believe in individual freedom and autonomy without church or state dictating to individuals. So the first principle here, enunciated by Ralph Waldo Emerson, the American writer, is self-reliance. A person should have the right to take control of his or her own destiny as far as he or she can, to accept responsibility for one's marriage or career, how he or she lives and learns, the most important values and goods that are cherished. The individual should be self-directed and self-governed. Self-autonomy is the affirmation of human freedom, and it is the starting point. The freedom and dignity of every person to choose how he or she wants to live, consonant with others in society. Now, some people find freedom a burden, and they're willing to forfeit their right to self-determination to parents or their husbands or wives, to co-workers, employees, to despots or gurus, to church or state. But we say that a free individual recognizes that he or she has only one life to live, and that how a person lives is ultimately one's own choice. This recognizes that, of course, that we live with others and share many values and ideals, but basic to the ethics of democracy, of humanism is the civic virtues of democracy, an appreciation of individual choice and tolerance. That's a key point for unique and idiosyncratic choices. All right, first is autonomy. Second, we emphasize intelligence, critical thinking, the use of reason in order to make one's choices. And if we're to achieve the good life as individual persons, we need to develop our cognitive skills, not merely technical expertise or skills, but good judgment about how to make wise choices and how to live. Many small-minded critics demean human intelligence and denigrate the power of human choice. They believe that we cannot solve our problems by depending on our own attitudes and resources. They're willing to abdicate their right to rational autonomy to others, and they don't believe that reason can be used. But we deny that. We think that's the best method that can be developed both for society, a rational society with educated citizens. The best guarantee against tyranny is educated citizens, but also for the individual. Third, individuals, a lot of people say, well, this leads to anything goes. We turned on the television set last night and saw pornographic films on television here. And people say if you allow a free society, then you have a breakdown of moral standards. Well, the best reliance is self-discipline by the individual, himself or herself, over his or her passions. We need to satisfy our desires, emotions, and needs with some moderation under the guidance of rational choice. We need to develop an appreciation for imprudent choices. We have plans and projects, and our life is made up of them, but whether or not we succeed depends upon us. Now, the underlying premise that I hold in my various writings, and I've written a number of books on ethics, is that human beings are potentially moral. We have the capacity to grow, following Piaget and Kohlberg, and whether we grow or develop into as mature moral beings and develop some excellence depends upon us. Fourth, we need some self-respect of who and what we are. I find that many people hate themselves, are fearful and trembling, unwilling to accept freedom. And I think a person could be consumed by self-hatred and fear. Courage is very important for the humanist. A person needs to develop some appreciation for who and what she or he is, and a realistic sense of his or her own identity. And so self-esteem is very important, and the person needs some confidence in himself or herself if he or she is to enjoy the good life. I use feminists, and I believe deeply that women are equal to men, and that women should enjoy the same rights that men in modern society. So the 21st century is the century in which all of these minorities who have been suppressed can finally exert themselves.